Yo, 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 what is up, my fallopian tubers? Cesario from the Barrio coming back at you with another video for your so this is going to be hobby tales. I'm going to tell you about a couple cards. I love doing these hobby tales. Just talking about things I acquired in the hobby and the story behind them. So this one in particular is going to be about mainly about this gum and how the gum helped me get my cards back that were stolen. So the way it started is I was in my slash room. Now let me just tell you why it was called a slash room real quick. Before that I was living in an apartment, then we finally rented a house. We were starting to rent a house, and it had this porch that they just basically put walls around the porch, but it was still it leaked. Every time it rained, it leaked. I remember like my Mickey Mantle cards were like on my shelf, and water would literally be dripping like 2 feet away from all my Mickey Mantle cards. But it would just drip there, so I just had a can underneath. I didn't worry about it. But it was called the slash room because when we first got it, my wife was like, that can be your card room, your man cave you always dreamed about. And I was like, yeah, all excited about it. But eventually, we got a washer and dryer, so we started calling it my card room slash laundromat, And then we got my wife started sewing again, put all her sewing machines in there, so it was just like my card room slash laundromat slash sweatshop. And then we ended up installing a pole, and we kept a lot of extra clothes and sweaters and stuff in there, so it became like a closet. So it was a slash closet, So that's why I called it my slash room. And anyways, I'm in there watching TV one day, right? And this was like early Sunday morning. And I'm watching YouTube. That's all I used to watch back then. 4 or 5 years ago was YouTube. That's all I watched, right? So, almost. And so I hear a noise. I run outside, and there's this dude next to my car just taking a piss. And I'm like, or at least I don't even remember. Maybe he was probably faking it, taking a piss. And I'm like, hey, dude, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. He seemed real apologetic. And almost seemed like he was embarrassed. And I see his bike right there on the driveway. He's like, I had to take a piss. I'm just taking a piss, and I'm going to leave right now in 10 seconds as soon as I'm done. I said, all right, whatever, man. It's not the first time some crackhead's taking a piss. It's not. All right. My house has this long driveway because that house that I was renting, because I had 3 houses in that property. I had a house in the front, I was the middle house, and had a house in the back. I mean, there's been shootings on that street, and people run into my driveway. I found a lot of stuff in my driveway before too. After parties around the neighborhood, people will throw their drugs or whatever, trying to get away from the cops. But anyways, so I go back in, right, and then I'm just watching TV again, and then I see like a head and footsteps just go past my window on the side. So I look out, and then I'm seeing into my back neighbors, and and I see this trail of gum. So I'm just like, what the hell's going on? I was like, huh. And I go to my car, and I look in there real quick, and I really don't notice anything missing. So I go back in my room, and then I sit down, and I'm thinking, that gum, that's my gum from Dodger Stadium, right? So, and it clicks on me. It's like, holy shit, that's right. Last night I have a hole in my backpack. So I run in there, and I notice, shit, my backpack's gone. And the backpack is important to me because I have my Dodger uniform in there and my badge to get into work. So I was like, holy shit, and this is Sunday morning. I got to go to work still. The game starts at 1. I will leave my house about 11, like at 11 or 10:30. And this is like 8 in the morning. So I was like, shit. I run out there. The dude's bike is still in the driveway that he had, and he took off running towards the backyard. And I was like, shit. So get on his bike, and I drive around the block so I could go to that cul-de-sac where he jumped into, because after the neighbor's backyard there was a dead end street. So I haul ass on the bike, go all the way, and I'm at the dead end street. And then I don't see anything, right? So I'm just like, shit. I go all the way to the end of the street and I didn't see anything. But then, as I'm on my way back, just thinking, shit, what am I gonna do? I was already about to thinking I gotta call work and tell them, hey, my uniform's gone, my badge is gone. And I get to this long driveway that goes to these apartments, and I see a couple of these gums. Oh, ride the bike in there. Sure enough, homeboy is right there next to a dumpster. So he's right next to the apartment dumpsters, trash dumpsters, and he's walking away. And I go up to him, hey, where's my backpack? And he's all like, what are you talking about? I don't know nothing about no backpacks. Like, dude, you were the one just taking a piss about my car. My car's missing the backpack. And I followed this trace of gum, and then he's like, kind of like, oh shit. He's I threw it in the trash. So I go over and I look in the trash can and I see my backpack. Right? And I told him, dude, you better jump in there and get it. Okay? And normally, I'm not really like a tough guy. You know, have you ever heard, I like to think, you ever heard the song by the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones? And they're like, I'm not a coward, I just never been tested. I like to think that if I was, I would pass. You know, that's me. You know, and this was, I felt like, oh, this is kind of like my test, because this dude was skinny. He was a meth head. Right away I noticed he was a meth head. You know, but he had face tattoos, body tattoos. He was just tatted down. You could tell he's been to jail. And so you can tell he's a gang member, but he's down. All right, if you know what I mean. Like, you're familiar with meth heads. If a dude's on meth, man, these guys got crackhead powers. You know what I mean? But when they're down, hungry, you know, down on their luck, they're weak, you know, and they need help. And I could tell he was in a stage where this dude needs help. That's probably why he was stealing my shit. But I tell him, dude, get in there and give me my backpack. So he goes in there, jumps in there, and he grabs my backpack. Well, when he grabbed my backpack, then I see my Dodger clothes down there. And I told him, hey, give me that shit too. I go, I need that. Give me my... And then he's all like, man, you're going to make me grab all this stuff? I was like, dude, you just stole my shit. I go, do you want me to call the cops? And he's like, man. So he grabs my shorts, my my sweater, my shirt. And then underneath that, I see this stuff. This card was in there. This card was in there. This card was in there. Okay, at that time, this is when I was really new on YouTube. Well, I don't even know if I was on YouTube yet. But on Instagram, I would take my cards and like the Sandy Koufax. You know, I took a picture right after a game on the mound at Dodger Stadium. You know, I took a picture of Pee Wee Reese at third base after a game. You know, I remember I had just taken this to Venice Beach. And I was at the rocks at Venice Beach where there's these big splashes. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take a picture with the rock splashing right behind it. And I took a picture of my 1956 Mickey Mantle, my favorite card of all time, on the rocks. And boom, a big splash of water was coming right towards it. Took the picture. As soon as I snapped the picture, I just turned around. The wave hit my back. Didn't touch my phone or my card. You know, all good. You know, some people might call that dumb. But go to hell. But anyways, so he started, and I remember I had my 1969 Mickey Mantle in there, and I'm not sure if that was in a slab. You know, I bought it and then I cracked it out to put it in my binder. But I did have my 69 Mickey Mantle in there. I remember also, and that was like that last card I had just bought. So I remember that one big time. So anyways, he starts grabbing my cards, gives them to me. You know, I put everything back in the backpack, and I get on his bike, and I start taking off. And he's like, hey, you really going to take my bike? You going to take my bike? And I got so mad when he said that. You know, and I'm not a violent dude. You know what I mean? I'm not. But I was really pissed. And when you're in a situation like that, and you live in LA, that's the whole thing. Is like, this dude was a gang member. Like, I could easily kick his ass. I knew I could kick his ass at the time. I knew I could just whoop on him. But I don't know who he is. I didn't know what gang he was from. I don't know who he hangs out with. But one thing I did know is that he knew where I lived. He knew my car. He knew my house. You know? So I really didn't want to chance it and do anything back. You know, because retaliation, you just never know where it can come from. So I grabbed his bike and I body slammed it. Just straight out Hulk Hogan body slamming under the Giant. Just grabbed it and I body slammed it. Boom! Body slammed it and then I just walked away like a G. I just walked away. And then I remember he comes out, he yells at me. He's like, "Hey man, the only reason I took your shit because you sold crack to my sister and this and that, and you sold crack to my sister, so this is just payback." And I was like, "Shit though, I don't sell crack and I don't know who the hell your sister is." I said, "Man," I said, "Look, dude, you got caught. You stole my shit and you got caught. That's it. It's over with. I got my shit back. It's over. All right? We're good. I'm gone." And I walked away. And I remember walking away. I kept looking back like, is he going to come back? Is he going to come after me? And he just stood there looking at me walk away forever. And then I turned the corner and I went to my house and I went back home and I was like, wow. You know, that just happened. So that's my hobby tale. That's how this gum got me my cards back. So that's my hobby tale. I don't know. Hope you guys don't think less of me. Stuff happens, man. I live in LA. Alright? Love the hobby. Just keep collecting baseball cards forever, as I say. Ciao!